Get ready for a wild holiday adventure at Holiday World in Santa Claus, Indiana. You won't believe it. We're celebrating the 4th of July, Halloween, Christmas, and Thanksgiving all in one day. In July. Seriously, is that even allowed? For those of you not familiar, nestled in the charming town of Santa Claus, Indiana lies Holiday World, a unique theme park dedicated to celebrating Christmas, Halloween, Thanksgiving, and the 4th of July. In this video, we will be exploring the 5 best ways to celebrate each of the 4 holidays at the park. These aren't necessarily the best rides and attractions, although many of them are included. Instead, these are what I would consider the most festive experiences that truly embody the spirit of each holiday, such as the most Christmas or Halloween experiences. Let's begin by exploring the sections based on their overall level of theming, at least as I see it. Sorry to all the Halloween enthusiasts out there, but in my opinion, the Halloween section is the least themed here at Holiday World. Now, don't get me wrong, it is still a blast with some major thrills, so let's walk through the top 5 ways to get your Halloween on this summer. Now, I'm going to cheat on this very first entry on our list by combining 3 separate rides into one point. Nothing makes me think of Halloween more than getting a good thrill, and Halloween section here has 3 lightly themed yet very thrilling rides that get your heart pumping. The Raven and the Legend are 2 world-class coasters, and Frightful Falls is the park's log flume. All 3 of these take you on a journey through the woods in and around each other, with some spooky imagery and sounds along the way. The experience is even more unforgettable if you dare to ride them at night. It amplifies the spooky factor to the max. In the middle of the Halloween section, a spine-chilling carnival takes place, featuring a range of spooky-themed games that blend fun and fear. With captivating names such as Goblin's Goblet Pitch, The Spiderweb, and Pumpkin Planko, these games provide a thrilling way to immerse yourself in the Halloween spirit while spending some time and money on eerie entertainment. So, when you were a kid, Halloween was all about dressing up in cool costumes. And while you can't wear costumes around the park on a normal day, you can pick up a fun costume for your head at Spooky's Hat Shop. Spooky seems to have a big thing for octopuses and or squids, but you're also going to find a lot of fun options, including princesses, cowboy, farmer, king, buffalo, shark victim, and various food options, among others that you can show your holiday spirit with all day. So you can't say that you celebrated Halloween at Holiday World without meeting the one and only Kitty Claus, one of the park's mascots. Now, you'll often find her alongside her good buddy Holodog, who is the mascot for the entire park, George the Eagle in the 4th of July section, and Safari Sam, who represents the water park Splash and Safari. Kitty is kind of like this cool black cat dressed up in an orange mask and tutu. I mean, she is so cute. Now, you can usually find her hanging out in the kids section of the park called Holodog's Fun Town, or maybe up at the front of the park doing some meet and greets. And you can also find just tons of Kitty merch all around the park. I'd be remiss not to mention that there is a Halloween event put on during the weekends in October, and this adds even more Halloween attractions, both spooky and not so spooky. Wait, why does that phrase sound familiar? Anyway, I'm sure these additions would bump Halloween up in the overall rankings. I've just never attended it. So let me know in the comments if you'd like to see me visit this fall. Our last experience in this section is the Hollow Swings, and it may not seem quite as thrilling as some of the other rides in Halloween, but it's still pretty darn thrilling for us scaredy cats who can't handle heights. The ride has some really cool Halloween decorations, like a giant jack-o'-lantern on top with bats, witches, ghosts, and all sorts of spooky creatures painted on the sides. And get this, if you ride it in the evening or even on an overcast day, the lights on this ride crank that Halloween feeling up to an 11. Man, you do not want to miss this one. Moving on to the Christmas area of the park, and you might actually be surprised to see that it's so far down this list when it's located in a town called Santa Claus, but that's because as this is the oldest area of the park, there just isn't too much room for additions, although I have some ideas, Holiday World. Christmas only has rides for the youngest in the family, and there's really not any shows regularly happening inside of its borders. It functions mostly as the main street for Holiday World. That said, there really is no shortage of holiday cheer to be found. Our first stop in Christmas is to Rudolph's Reindeer Ranch. Now, this part of the park is mostly for the little ones, with only one ride that allows people over 54 inches tall to ride. The theming here is primarily a red and green color scheme with reindeer imagery on the rides and signage. Your little ones will love this section of the park and they will want to come back over and over, but honestly, during the summer, the lack of shade is going to make you feel like you're anywhere but at the North Pole. Our next Christmas adventure is going to involve the shopping spree. When we travel, our family's favorite souvenirs are Christmas ornaments, and Holiday World obviously just has a ton to choose from. You're going to find ornaments for the park itself, all of the major coasters, Holodog and his friends. There's also an abundance of other Christmas merchandise like snow globes, magnets, shirts, and mugs. Trust me, you're not going to leave empty-handed. By now, you are probably starving, so let's head on over to Santa's Merry Marketplace and grab a bite to eat. This is the biggest dining spot at Holiday World, and it's one of the few indoor spaces where you can cool down and enjoy some AC. The decorations in this building are amazing, with oversized murals of Santa everywhere, plus add in just lots of wreaths, garland, and lights. The food is your typical theme park fare, although a special shout out to the family pizza deal. But the real highlight here is the candy shop and the ice cream shop, also located inside the marketplace. You can get all kinds of fudge, cookies, ice cream, and other sweet treats that will surely satisfy your Christmas treat tooth. Now, for our next Jolly event, we're going to temporarily leave the Christmas section and travel into the attached water park Splash and Safari. Now, don't worry, Holiday World admission covers entrance to this area as well. And here we're going to find Santa's Pool Party. This is a dance party geared to kids and hosted by two of Santa's most red and green DJs. They will get your kids dancing to a mix of summer tunes as well as some Christmas favorites. There's going to be a limbo line, and the whole event ends with a fun foam snowstorm. My youngest two kids just absolutely love this party. Now, the top experience in Christmas might actually seem a little basic, but considering the lack of family attractions in this area, it's what keeps it above Halloween. But first, in order to do this one right, let's grab ourselves a frosty coffee beverage. And there's a few options for coffee in Christmas. First, it's the Christmas cupboard, and that's where I picked up Santa's Sugar Cookie Cold Brew. Man, 10 out of 10, no notes. My wife got a white chocolate mocha from the Polar Espresso, and that's just inside the Santa's Merry Marketplace. Once you have coffees in hand, you're just going to want to wander the Christmas section and take in all the gorgeous Christmas decorations. Of all of the sections, Christmas has the best theming in the general areas outside of the attractions. You've got Christmas music blaring over the sound system, and it does make you feel like you are in the thick of December. Ignoring the July temps, of course. And like I've mentioned before, if possible, you're going to want to check these decorations out at night. Man, the magic of Christmas truly comes alive when the Christmas lights come on. The 4th of July is up next, and really the reason that it ranks so high is because for me, a classic carnival is so reminiscent of Independence Day, and that's exactly what this area reminds me of. Now, if you add in the strong red, white, and blue color scheme, flags galore, and a jazz-heavy playlist, you're going to be ready for some hot dogs and fireworks. So we're starting with the Firecracker, and this classic Calypso ride really has that sharp red, white, and blue color scheme. If you love a good spin, this ride is going to be right up your alley. But if you get motion sickness like I do, it might actually have you feel like you got blasted in the gut by a firecracker. However, my wife and my oldest son will ride this one over and over and over. Our next stop in the 4th of July section is to the Lewis and Clark Trail. Now, these are those antique cars, and these are really well kept, and that's a lot more than you can say for this kind of attraction at other parks. You do get a really good length ride up and around these central parts of 4th of July. It actually borders Christmas and Halloween, so you get some cool views of those too. And it really reminds me of just a nice, easy, quiet ride through the countryside, just as cars were a new thing. We're going to stop off, we're going to get a sweet treat now, and what screams 4th of July more than ice cream? Well, it would be red, white, and blue ice cream, of course, and you're going to find that at Utterly Blue Ice Cream. The namesake blue ice cream is a blue raspberry flavor, red is a wild cherry, which is my personal favorite, and the white is vanilla if you're just looking for something a little less fruity. They also have a blue and red swirl. Next to Utterly Blue is the Star Spangled Carousel. This is a classic carousel where the paint job on this ride is that theme of red, white, and blue. Several of the horses have just a very strong American color scheming. My favorite is this one here. It's got the American flag as well as the Indiana state flag. Pretty cool. So no Independence Day celebration is truly complete without a dazzling fireworks display. Although fireworks aren't a nightly occurrence at Holiday World, most summer nights do end with a spectacular show that will be sure to thrill and impress. Now, you might sense that there's a little more going on here than just fireworks. We're going to come back to that here in a bit. And now we're on to the last section of the park. Thanksgiving is the newest land added to Holiday World, and therefore it has the newest rides and also the most room for expansion. I haven't really mentioned it yet, but Holiday World is a family-owned park, and the current generation of the family, which is the fourth since the park was created, they've just done an amazing job with the theming on all of the attractions and experience that they have introduced into the park. A majority of that is on display in the Thanksgiving section, which is why it has made its way to the top of our ranking. We'll start off in the Thanksgiving section with a treat for mom and dad. Plymouth on the Rocks is a place where you can get an alcoholic beverage, including wine, seltzer, cocktails, but most importantly for this video, some themed craft beer. I got the Gee Willikers, that's some cranberry sour. And if that name seems a bit weird, it's because it's named in conjunction with one of the rides that we'll talk about in a bit. But cranberry is definitely a flavor that I highly connect to Thanksgiving, and I absolutely loved this drink. You can also get the Plymouth IPA, as well as the Nevermore Amber Ale that goes along with the Raven in the Turkey Whirl. Now, this ride is exactly what it sounds like. A tilt-a-whirl where the vehicles are shaped as turkeys. And honestly, can you think of anything cuter than this? Again, this is a ride a bit too advanced for my weaker stomach, but my wife and oldest son cannot get enough. And the sight of these turkeys swirling around will surely put a smile on your face, even if you're simply watching. Now moving on, you might want to wait a bit to let your stomach settle, but we're headed next door to the Plymouth Rock Cafe. And yes, we are getting a full Thanksgiving dinner. Shredded turkey is one of the main meat options, but guys, they also have the jumbo turkey legs. So many traditional Thanksgiving side options as well, including mac and cheese, green beans, mashed potatoes and gravy, stuffing and baked apples. Finish it off with a pumpkin or pecan pie. Now, how can you celebrate Thanksgiving without a proper turkey dinner? Right across the walkway in the park is this super cool dark ride called Gobbler's Getaway. I'm pretty sure it's the only Thanksgiving themed dark ride in the entire world. In this interactive ride, the turkeys have somehow escaped in the town of Autumn Falls, and guess what? It's up to you to call them back. No shooting allowed, and you save Thanksgiving. As you hit the targets, the turkeys pop out from behind the scenery. It's super fun. The ending and celebration scene are so cute. Whenever we visit Holiday World, we always make sure to ride this one a couple of times because it is a blast for the whole family. Hey, check out what is new for 2024. The family coaster called Good Gravy. It's all about making some delicious gravy because, the gravy has run out. You'll start off by entering the queue that looks just like Grandma's house, stuck in the 70s. As you walk through, you can smell Thanksgiving dinner and pumpkin pie in the air. It really gets you in the mood for Thanksgiving. The ride itself is a family boomerang, which means you go backwards out of the station, then hurtle back through before starting the course. You'll go through a giant cranberry can and weave around kitchen objects like a giant whisk, rolling pin, stuffing box, milk jug, and even a chicken timer. Then you'll go up that spike, and guess what? You'll go back through the course, but in reverse. It's a super fun ride that's perfect for building up your kids' stamina for roller coasters. Outside the course, you can interact with almost all of the kitchen objects. There's even a playground for smaller kids to play on. Oh, and the merch for Good Gravy is awesome. My family might have gone a little bit overboard and bought a few versions of that chicken timer. Holiday World really hit it out of the park with this one. Alright, so we've gone through each section of the park, and now we have one last big thing to do. It's a nighttime spectacular that will bring our day at the park to a close with a focus on all 4 of the park's major holidays. Before we dive into the main event, I've got to give a quick shout out to the Light the Night Dance Party. I didn't know much about it before I went, but let me tell you, it was totally mind-blowing. My kids danced their hearts out to a killer soundtrack and were surrounded by awesome, colorful lights, including a dance floor that lit up like crazy. While not holiday themed itself, it sets you up for what is coming next. So the dance party wrapped up, and then boom, the Holidays in the Sky drone show took off. It was lit with 500 drones and awesome images from the 4th of July, Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. I've seen a bunch of these drone shows lately, but this one had some of the sickest formations I have ever seen. And get this, they had fireworks too. The soundtrack was on point with songs that were stirring, spooky, funny, and jolly. It was just the perfect way to end the day of celebrating all 4 holidays. Which of these holidays would you most want to celebrate at Holiday World? If you like this video, please do all the liking and commenting, as it really helps me grow this channel. Also, you'll probably like this video, so check it out.